Front-end challenges the Air Force's decision not to select its proposal for award. The protester argues that the Air Force applied an unstated evaluation criterion because the BAA did not require proposals to be directed towards a specific area of interest under the applications of AI topic. In the alternative, Front-end contends that the agency unreasonably evaluated its proposal because its proposal was in fact responsive to the real-time operational area of interest. The protester also alleges that the Air Force unreasonably evaluated its proposal and engaged in disparate treatment of offerors by failing to evaluate its proposal on all three evaluation factors. Finally, in a supplemental protest, Front-end argues that the agency took unreasonable corrective action in response to its prior protest by not conducting a second pitch day and inviting Front-end to participate. It is well established that contracting agencies have substantial discretion to determine which proposals they will fund under an SBIR procurement. Our office has specifically recognized that, with respect to the SBIR program, contracting agencies have broad discretion to determine their needs and the best way to meet them. In light of this discretion, our review of an SBIR procurement is limited to determining whether the agency acted in bad faith or violated any applicable regulations or solicitation provisions. A protester's disagreement with the agency's judgment, by itself, does not establish that an evaluation was unreasonable. This is particularly true under an SBIR procurement, which is not based on design or performance specifications for existing equipment, but rather emphasizes scientific and technological innovation, and has as its objective the development of new technology. It is precisely because of the scientific and innovative nature of this type of procurement that the agency is given substantial discretion in determining which proposals it will fund. Against this background, we have reviewed the allegations of Front-end's protest. As explained further below, we find no reason to conclude that the agency acted in bad faith or violated any applicable regulations or solicitation provisions in reaching its conclusion not to select Front-end's proposal for award. We have reviewed the record and find no basis to sustain the protest because we find no reasonable possibility of prejudice from the agency's actions and no disparate treatment of offerors. Competitive prejudice is an essential element of every viable protest, and where none is shown or is otherwise evident, we will not sustain the protest. Here, the agency rated as not selectable all 6 proposals that it found to be irrelevant to the stated areas of interest, including the protester's proposal. This rationale for deeming the protester's proposal not selectable would remain unaffected even if we were to credit the protester's challenges to the agency's decision not to substantively evaluate its proposal on the second and third evaluation factors. In other words, even if the agency had found the protester's personnel to be highly qualified and its proposal to have a high potential for commercialization, the Air Force would still have considered its proposal to be not germane to the topic area, and we see no reasonable possibility that Front-end's proposal would have been deemed selectable. In such a circumstance, we will not find competitive prejudice. Moreover, we find no basis to conclude that the agency treated offerors unequally. In this respect, we note that the agency treated all 6 proposals that it found not germane identically, assigning them an equal score and deeming them not selectable. The fact that the Air Force continued its technical evaluation of proposals that it found to make marginal progress toward the applications of AI topic, but did not continue evaluating proposals that it found to be entirely irrelevant to the topic, does not evidence disparate treatment. Accordingly, the agency's decision not to substantively evaluate Front-end's proposal on the second and third evaluation factors provides no basis for us to sustain the protest. The protest is denied.